You know that one thing, that thing you keep pushing off, telling yourself, okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. Well, what if tomorrow is actually the problem itself? We're going to dig into how some ancient Stoic wisdom offers a pretty harsh, but wow, a startlingly effective cure for procrastination.
Okay, so the Stoics, they really did not pull any punches. I mean, they saw procrastination as way more than just a simple flaw. To them, it was a dangerous kind of self-deception. And this quote, it just gets right to the heart of it. Believing tomorrow is guaranteed, well, that's not just being optimistic, it's straight up arrogant.
And this right here, this is a huge shift in perspective. You know, we tried to solve procrastination with better calendars, right, or the latest, greatest productivity app, but the Stoics, they argued the problem runs so much deeper. It's not about time management. It's about our very relationship with life and death.
All right, so before we can break free, we first have to understand the delusion that's keeping us stuck in the first place. It's this way of thinking that feels logical, maybe even safe, but it's really just a cage we've built for ourselves.
And according to the Stoics, that cage, it's built out of 3 very specific mental traps. These are the flawed thought patterns that convince us over and over again to just put things off. So let's break them down, shall we? First up is this kind of surprising idea that we're actively choosing to be worse. Then we're going to look at the fantasy of waiting for the perfect time. And finally, we'll get into the self-inflicted torture of just dreading the work. So just think about who wrote this for a second. We're talking about Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. And he wasn't lecturing other people here. He was writing this to himself in his own private journal. It was a reminder that delaying what you know is right, well, that's not some passive act of waiting. What that means is, when you put off that workout or that big project, you are actively deciding to be a lesser version of yourself right now, today. You're not just postponing something. You are choosing to be inadequate in this very moment. Oof. And that brings us right to our second trap, which is captured just perfectly by the philosopher Seneca. He noticed that so many people spend their entire lives just preparing to live, you know? Always waiting for the real show to finally get started. We all do this, right? We tell ourselves, I'll start when things calm down, or when I have more money, or when I finally feel motivated. But here's the thing. That's the illusion. The Stoics knew that perfect conditions are a total myth, and waiting for them means you'll be waiting forever. And that leads us straight into trap number 3, also from our friend Seneca. We put stuff off because our imagination turns these tasks into these terrifying monsters, right? We get completely consumed by the dread of the effort, or the discomfort, or just the idea that we might fail. But you know what the deep irony is? By procrastinating, we don't actually avoid the pain. No, we just prolong it. Think about it. Those weeks of low-grade anxiety and that feeling of dread just hanging over your head, that's almost always so much worse than the 2 hours it would take to just get the thing done. Okay, so we've looked at the mental traps that keep us stuck. Now, let's get to the Stoics' ultimate weapon to break free. This is really the core of their whole philosophy on this, and I gotta warn you, it's meant to be a harsh, but hopefully life-altering reality check.
Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. Now, I know that sounds super morbid and depressing, but that's not the point at all. It's meant to be an urgent call to action. For the Stoics, this fundamental truth was the guide for every single decision, but they had a really unique way of looking at it. See, most of us, we think of death as this one single event, right? It's waiting for us somewhere way off in the distant future. But Seneca argued that this is a profound misunderstanding of time. For the Stoics, death doesn't start at the end of your life. No. It's happening right now, in every single moment that passes. With every second that ticks by, another piece of your life is gone. Forever.
Here's a wild way to think about it. You haven't just lived for, let's say, 30 years. You've already died for 30 years. All of that time in your past, it already belongs to death. The only thing you actually possess is this very moment, right now. And when you really let that sink in, the question, are you just killing time, suddenly has this terrifying weight to it. When you're sitting on the couch, scrolling, putting off what you know you should be doing, you're not just killing time, you are actively giving away the only truly precious and limited resource you will ever have.
Okay, wow. That reality check can feel pretty overwhelming, right? So, what do we do? What's the next step? Well, the Stoics don't just leave us in despair.
They offer a simple but incredibly powerful path forward.
Zeno, who actually founded Stoicism, he gives us the key. We get totally paralyzed by the sheer size of our ambitions, don't we? Writing a book, starting a business, running a marathon, these things are huge. The solution isn't to just sit around and wait for some massive burst of motivation to strike.
No, it's about stopping to look at the entire mountain. Instead, you need to look down at your feet and focus on one thing, and one thing only. What is the very next step you can take right now? You build a great life the same way you build a wall, brick by brick, action by action.
So let's make this super practical. Are you paralyzed by the thought of writing a 300-page book? Okay, forget the book. Your job is just to write 2 terrible pages today. That's it. Feeling overwhelmed by some total fitness transformation? Don't even think about it. Your only task is to put on your shoes and walk out the front door. The goal here is to make the very next action so small, so tiny, that it's almost impossible to say no to.
And really, that is what this all boils down to. Procrastination loves to live in that abstract, hazy world of tomorrow. But action only lives in the concrete reality of right now. So forget about the whole project for a minute. The only question that actually matters is this one. What is the smallest, most immediate step you are going to take the moment this is over?